Hey, you guys, welcome to another amazing episode of Talkers vs. Door, the mental game. Yo, I am so excited today. I got my girl on here, Coach Sledge, and not just that, but hey, she is a soror, so we gotta represent.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you, sis. Yes, y'all know what it is.
Uh,
So thank you so much for coming on. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. This week is Teachers Appreciation Week, so we're being appreciated not only here in Alabama, but all across, the states, everywhere. So
Most
I'm feeling
definitely.
pretty good.
We appreciate you guys. I know y'all go through so much. It's
Yes.
nothing like a dedicated teacher, let alone coaching too. So jumping into that, I want to go right into the excitement. 6A
Okay.
championship that night. What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Yeah, I'm going in it. What was your thoughts? How you were you feeling that night?
Man, it's something I would say we have always talked about, me and my coaching staff. And one of my assistant coaches, Coach Billy Fagnes, he's been a part of Parker Girls program for 16 years. So
Wow.
it was really, huge for him. But just going into that night of that game, I was I was excited, overwhelmed. I even shedded some tears because, you just think back to all the workouts and the hard work that you as a coach have put in, and the sacrifices you have made, and then you think about the young ladies that you have,
Mhm.
and how they hear about the moment through you as a coach, but to actually be in it and
Yeah.
to witness it, by playing the game of basketball that they love, is just, it's a different feeling. It was great. I mean, it was overwhelming moment.
I
I
love it.
think
I
they
see
said
this.
it had been probably about 22, 23 years
Oh wow.
since that has happened. So I was excited about it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Like I said, I saw the tears, seeing, the compassion in it and everything, and
Yeah,
having the pleasure of coaching some of the young ladies and seeing them on another level was just, it was fulfilling for me. And just
yeah,
girl sports in general to see that, as you said, Park has been a long time coming, so to see that was amazing. So we fast
yes,
forward Elite Eight. What did you learn?
yes.
What was the learning
Ooh.
part
Well, a lot of people, they probably know now, but I don't think they knew early on. If you haven't been keeping up with just girls basketball in the Smithfield area, we do have a young group of girls, and I think they had to grow up really fast over the course of a whole summer.
of that?
So to the Elite Eight, they had to grow up over the course of a whole summer. We had some obstacles that we faced going into this past season with a couple of our seniors, who I felt like would be big. I knew they would be big leaders for our girls, our younger girls, but things happen and
Mhm.
life happened.
Always.
So they had to step into some different roles that, they probably would have came into this year, but they had to step into
Right.
um last year early.
Okay.
So that Elite Eight game, we started out with Shays Valley,
Mhm.
and we hadn't played Shays Valley all season, but we had been keeping up with them or whatever, and we know they have a good group of girls, some good shooters. They even have, I think, a 6'1" or 6'2" guard that plays all around.
Mhm.
And we knew going into that game that we couldn't let, I think she was number 10. I can't remember her name, but I we knew that we couldn't let her get hot. We couldn't let her get going
Right.
because she's really the heart of the team,
Mhm.
and they thrive off of her. They look up to her, and she leads them. She knows how to take over, and she knows how to lead when she needs to lead. And we came out with our game plan with them. And long story short, I think we played better defense against Shays Valley, way
Definitely.
better defense
Mhm.
going into that game than the Huffman game that we played. I always tell the girls, even when we, doing our workouts for this upcoming season, I'm reminded of that game. I remind them
You
of
got to.
that game because, in my opinion, that was the worst game that we played all season. To me, that was the worst game that we played all season.
And y'all know Coach
Um,
Fair gonna keep it real. They was so lackadaisical. The defense,
they
nothing was
were,
there. I was screaming and hollering. So,
they were, they
yes, it,
were.
it was less of a game for the players. Like you said, they're young, but you have some amazing young players that can reach that level and play. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, they didn't play that whole 100% of their selves that they could on
Nope.
it. So I'm hoping that also, as you said, that's a taste in the coach's mouth, that you
Hmm.
guys have and those players have too, to like, look, we better than that.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah.
is what we need to go from it. And with that
Hmm.
taste, a lot of people don't know that you play sports also.
Yes, I
So
did.
a little background about you playing.
Well, middle school ball, I played for Smith Middle School. And back then when I was playing, I think that look, I have to go way back to remember because I'm 41 now. So that's been so long ago for me. So I think that was back in 92, 93.
Mhm.
I was at Smith Middle School, and I'll never forget. My parents, they framed my jersey because
Oh,
I think we were the only team that we hadn't won any games. And we got to the championship game. I forgot who we played, but we got to the championship game, and it was down at the Phillips downtown. Um, and we ended up winning the championship, the city championship. So we had an awful season, but in the end, we persevered and we came out,
kept
with the
going.
championship.
Definitely.
So from there, of course, I went to Huffman High School, and I'm a graduate of Huffman High School, class of 2000.
Oh yeah.
I
So that was a
played
hard
ball
game.
there.
That was the meat game. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I played ball there under Coach Burgess. I don't know if he's still at Shays Valley, but the last time I saw him, he was there. But I played ball there. I was a cheerleader there. I ran track. I didn't do volleyball and softball. I tried to do softball, but my parents said I was doing too much. But on from there, I did get a full scholarship at Stillman College
That's
and
good.
had a great experience at Stillman. No, I'm sorry. Look, let me backtrack because I can't forget before Stillman, Lord. I went to Lawson State Community College
Go Cougar. No,
under
no, I love it. Go.
yes, yes. And I played under Coach Eleanor Pitts. Love her. And Coach Wiley, which is there right now, is the coach. He was one of her coaches too. So
Yeah.
I went there for 2 years, and I was second in the nation in JUCO during that time.
Let's go.
Um, Averaging highest average was like 31 points. And one thing I always tell athletes back then, Coach Pitt, she always stressed to me, never lose yourself in the midst of a game,
Mhm.
and think that there's no one watching you in the stands. Maybe coaches, it may
Come
be
on
a parent, it may be parents who know other coaches who have great relationships with other
now. Definitely.
coaches, and everyone in JUCO really was looking at me, and I end up choosing Stillman because Linda Burgess, she recruited me from Stillman during that time, and she played for the Sacramento Kings. And my visit to Stillman was it was amazing. I loved it. That was back in 2001, I think it was,
Right.
that I went on my recruiting trip and went down there, and I didn't get to play under Coach Burgess because they end up releasing her, and we end up picking up another coach from Alabama State, which was Sherry Harris, which
Okay.
I love her too, and she's tough. She might be short, but she's something
You
serious.
gotta have
She's
them
tough.
toughness, yes.
She's tough. But yeah, I
Mhm.
left Lawson and went on to Stillman and finished out my last 2 years there. And
Okay.
then from there, I have a lot of coaching friends that I keep up with. One of my coaching friends, which is my best friend, Coach Aja Harris, who's at Bishop State right now.
Mhm.
She put me she put me in connections with the semi pro women's team that was out of Montgomery after I left Stillman, and it was called the Montgomery Dream. So we all played with that team for I guess about 2 years or
Oh,
so, and then
yeah.
I don't know what it's doing now. I don't even know if it's still out there, but
Mhm.
yeah, we did that for about 2 years, and that was that was the end of that. Then I got into coaching
Yeah.
after
So
that. So
definitely a journey, and definitely the understanding that you have been part of an aspect ongoing. It's not something you just started. And that's big when you're coaching you for them to understand that you had to persevere and go through so many different
yeah,
things yourself with that.
yeah,
And listen to what you said about what your coach told you, you know, at Lawson, always, you know, behaving and having a certain way when you're on the court. Jumping into that, being a sports mental health coach, I'm very big on that mental aspect. So, what
hmm.
would you say that is needed for a lot of these young athletes, mentally wise, that you see that they may be missing or not having right now?
My main thing from experience, even going back to when I was at Stillman and we had tour days, and like I share with them all the time, I had to be up at 4 a.m. in the morning on the track, ready to go by 4:30.
Hmm.
And we had to hit those times on those mile runs, and if you didn't hit those times, for guards, I think it was like 6 minutes. You had to run your mile in 6 minutes. If you was a big forward, whatever you want to call it, I think you had like 8 minutes or so. But if you didn't hit those times, you had to come back in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, but I think from experience with me seeing everything and my personal experience, I think it's important that you have the parent support. The parents or whoever the guardian is has to be a big mental support for the athlete,
Hmm.
because it was times when I was off in college and I didn't know anybody, and I did call home to get some encouraging words, and then as I got older I learned to encourage myself.
Hmm.
But my parents were a big support system because my dad played ball. I come from a basketball family, and just not only that, just with the assistant coaches and the trainers that I had and that my girls have today, um, it's important to know who's on your team, who's really pushing for you, who's really cheering for you, and to be able to recognize that, because a lot of programs don't have good trainers. They can't afford them. They might not get blessed to have one that basically doesn't charge anything sometime. So even with my program here at Parker High School, my first year having Coach O come in with my girls, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie, it was rough. It was really rough for them because it was something that they had never experienced. But I think as time went on, they got used to what it felt like for them to build up their physical their physical side and their mental side, even through the state of mind of them feeling that burn, feeling that pain, and saying, "Hey, I really can push through this," and I can hear my teammates in the back of me, cheering me on, telling me, "Hey, you can do it, you can do it." And then it's just something in your mind that clicks as an athlete when you're working out and you're going through that pain, and you're like, "Dang, I'm really not as tired as I think I am. I feel that burn, I feel that pain, but I know I got an extra kick there somewhere
Right.
where I can, just kick through and push through." So
Hmm.
I think with all of that, and the support of having good teammates
Definitely.
and having people that's in your corner, and just you personally building up that confidence, and just encouraging yourself within, because you gotta have a heart and a love for going into condition strength and conditioning. Like
Definitely.
it's really not for the weak.
Hmm.
Once tackle that end, I feel like on the basketball end with the drills and all that stuff, you will be able to go through that, with no problem.
So would you say the
But
mental aspect is just as important as the physical aspect?
oh yes, yes,
Okay.
of course, yes, because I think physical wise, going back to the Elite Eight, I think we had what it take, we had what it took physical wise, but mental, I think our mental, it went somewhere else.
Hmm.
It just, I don't know if it went back to, well, dang, I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. It wasn't
Definitely.
where, it wasn't where it needed to be. And we had, faced Huffman early on in the Birmingham City tournament. And that game to me was way better than the Elite Eight game, because I played with like six girls. I had two of my starters injured, but
Hmm.
sometimes with injuries with athletes, young athletes, they have to have a breakthrough mental moment in their mind where they say, I'm not going to think about the past injury that I had. And I know that it's a possibility that I may re injure myself. But I think with some of them, it's still in their mind that if I jump up and get this rebound, I'm gonna sprain my ankle again,
Right.
or I may break my toe again, or whatever the case may be. So that's why when my athletes get injured, we mentally try to help them as well, because we understand and know that with them being so young, they're worried about a lot of stuff that they don't tell us as coaches they're worried about. All
Well,
we're worried about sometimes is, you're cleared, okay, this is the next game and
mhm.
you about to play. But that's
Right.
not all that they're worried about.
So
And
much.
you really have to take it into consideration as a coach. um you may be pushing your athletes hard to come off of an injury or something like that, but mentally they're sometimes not ready. They might not get be ready until the next season, because
Yeah.
I've had it happen with one of my previous seniors. I mean, she had a really, really bad high ankle sprain,
Mhm.
and it was rough on her the entire season. And she came back, but I could tell that she wasn't all the way mentally there.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
that's a
nothing
big thing,
that,
like you said, with young players too, even,
yeah,
just we was tough. We played outside on concrete when we played. These babies don't do that now. So learning to bounce back is a little bit harder for them. Not only do they have their peers, they most definitely have their parents in their ears telling them what you
yeah,
can and can't do and what you're not gonna do. Where when we grew up with coaches,
yeah,
you play. We're not
mm-hmm,
going to tell our coaches I'm not going to do this, but my mama said, and that's a big
mm-hmm,
thing with sports that really needs to be looked at in a form of fashion, with the parents understanding to allow the coach to be a coach when
yeah,
it comes, because they're going to grow through basketball, and growing through basketball or any sports mean you're going to have pain. Things are going to happen, but we got to maneuver to that next level. We got to be willing to allow them to stop being babies. At this a point where they got to grow up,
yeah, they
only.
do.
So it's huge within that. And as female athletes, if we want to make a difference in that area, we have to understand. We're not saying you go and you playing on a broken bone. We're saying the push through. A lot of y'all young athletes looking at that, and y'all know y'all got some young male friends that y'all play ball with, and y'all be like, man,
Mm-hmm.
Jojo Mike came back the next day, his ankle swelled, because it's the passion and love that he have to know that I gotta keep going.
And when
I
you have a good trainer, when you have
Yeah.
a good trainer that, they've specialized in different things, they have broke through different different moments with previous athletes, they'll help you to understand. Sometimes with those ankle injuries, you have so much inflammation and other stuff going on with your ankle, sometime when you get out there and you go ahead and kind of test it out and kind of run on it and see how far you can go with it, you'll break through that inflammation. And after you finish, you just ice it up, you elevate it. Because in therapy, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They challenge you on that ankle or whatever your injury may be. They challenge you. You're gonna feel some pain. You're gonna have to do some balancing and stuff like that, some one-legged squats and all that stuff. But after so long, you won't have that stiffness.
Yeah.
You'll be able to feel a difference in it. And I think when you baby injuries and stuff like that, you kind of hinder yourself. You prolong the
Better.
recovery time that it takes, and when you're not aggressive with your treatment. So
So
you know,
coming
I'm
into high school, what is something that you would say for young athletes that they need to be working on now?
ooh, definitely, definitely, definitely. Before you even hit the court, work on communication. Work on communication. As far as I say this because through experience with me, communication is really not. I don't feel like it's really a top priority for athletes when they come in, because you have to be able to communicate outside of your parents with your coach.
Mhm.
um and it helps you be more responsible. It
That's right.
helps you learn how to balance out when you're first coming into high school. It helps with a lot of stuff. So communication, and then also um for athletes coming in, never forget how far you have came to get to where you're at, because when you get to high school, you have to kick it up a level. You have to still compete. You have to still do the workouts, and you have to understand, like I tell them and like I was told, I had friends, going into high school, playing basketball in college, but it's no friends on the court. We're here to compete. We're here to
True.
compete, and you need to know, if your position gets taken by me, is this is business, but it's personal for me too, because this is my life, this is my journey. And if I outwork you, then I just outwork you. You got to step your game up, and
Mhm.
you got to come with something different too.
I
So
love that you said
they
that. No
kind of
more
soften
friends. Yeah.
they kind of soften things up in today's time. And a lot of players, they don't want to hurt the feelings of their teammates and all of that. But like I tell them, it is nothing personal like that, to where you're trying to intentionally do something wrong to them. But do you care enough about where you're trying to go in life to
Right.
really work hard, and not allow someone else, who may not even be on the same level as you, take control over what you really want?
As my kids
So
ask, when I used to coach, I used to say, "Let's eat." Like you gotta eat. Like
yeah, you
I gotta
do.
go get mine. So definitely, definitely, that was a big thing with my base when we played. Was like, hey, I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're on a team with your mama. She coming from my spot. I'm
Yeah.
going. Like I kiss you later, but let's go. Like we coming for this because you have a
Hmm.
vision of where you want to go, and you don't want to stumble on that vision because you're trying to hand somebody else something that ain't pushing or on your level to get there.
Hmm.
You got to be
Hmm.
ready to push yourself and get that to that next level. So I hope you guys got that to the young athletes coming in. Be ready to kick to that next level. Also understand you don't have friends on the court. That's even when you're in basketball practice, you playing against your teammates. You're trying to get better. So if you're not pushing your teammate to get better, they're not going to be a better asset to you when it comes to game time. So
Yep.
you
Yep.
have to
And
make
be
sure.
Yes, and be consistent. Be loyal. Be loyal and take pride in not only where you play ball at. Be loyal to your coach. I see a lot of athletes moving around within the city from school to school, and they don't they don't think about sometime if they're really going to be a fit at the certain school that they go to.
Mhm.
Um, they may think that they want to go somewhere else, and then they get there and they look back over the course of the year, and their whole game within themselves has changed. you can go into a program being a good averaging 3-point shooter and come out your junior year, your senior year, and your stats are way down. Like
Mhm.
I've seen it happen with a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
So definitely know where you're a good fit at. Don't just go off of, bribes and different coaches trying to persuade you by different things to get you into their program, because it's done. Coaches do it
All
all the
the
time.
time.
Um,
All the time.
they even put down the programs that they think might be in competition with them,
Mhm.
and they'll say little stuff to try to persuade the athlete, well, hey, you don't need
Yeah.
to go over here because this and that. It happens. But with me, throughout all of my years, me and my assistant coach, we always say, who and what God has for Parker program, he
It's gonna
has for our program. um I don't pride myself in trying to recruit athletes, because we can't recruit anyway. But if an athlete do come to me and say, hey, I'm thinking about coming to Parker, I always talk about the history of Parker and the academics here at Parker.
mhm.
And I always tell them, no matter what, you pray about what you want to do
Definitely.
with your life, and make sure that you have no regrets left on the table.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you can come to Parker and say you want to play for me, and you want to play for Parker High School, but you got to be happy with it. You got to want to play. You got to want to play for me. You got to want it for yourself. It's nothing that I can really tell you after I tell you all the glitz and the glams that come from Parker program, what we have accomplished, other than, just that stuff that's going to get you here. But at the end of the day, in your mind, you got to know that's where I want to be. Do
Mhm.
I really want to end out my high school basketball years here at Parker? Because I don't want to be moved all over the place. And it doesn't look good when you're moving all over the place either. It really
Everybody just
doesn't.
know you for that kid that played everywhere,
Yep.
on it. That's a huge thing, and I love what you said. Pray about it, think over it, and make sure it's something that you really want to do and be a part of. Research. I know you guys say,
Hmm.
"Hey, we're young." Research, parents, research that school. Take time to talk to that coach. Look at the team. I was one of those ones where I watched the whole team. I'm watching the coach staff and everything
Yeah.
to see how they relate. Because, like you said, some kids can't get along with each other. You may think you can, but when you get on that basketball court, she a point guard, you a point guard. Yeah, you did that at that school, but when you come to this school, it's a whole nother level. So you got to
Yeah.
make sure you're able to mingle in with that. Some places it's just for you to stand out at another place. And I think that was one of our big things, behold, yes, I went to N, so we wasn't as great and everything. But when people asked me, I was like, look, I'm staying. Why? Because I felt
Right.
in my area. And I'd rather take those losses being me and get my time to go join a super team and just be there on the bench. So, but
Hmm.
it brought so much charisma and courageous for me to be able to everything I do in life has been piggyback off those because it was
Yeah.
so many losses that I say that I learned from it and was like, okay, this is gonna help me in life. Where I could have went over here, went over there because I stayed in Green Acres, so I was close to Winona, Fairfield, and Ensley. But I said, you know
Hmm.
what? The coach is here. I got love for him. I love working with coaches now. I still call them pops. They did everything, made sure, from picking me up, dropping me off. If I had stuff going on, they was like, look, they coming because I
Yeah.
built a relationship with those coaches.
Yeah, and that's another thing that me and my best friend Asia Harris, I love her to death. And I have another best friend in Mobile, Coach Hiller. She's at Viger right now.
Let's go,
And I
Blue.
was talking to I was talking to Coach Harris this morning just about different situations that I go through with some of my athletes here at Parker. Like, most coaches would never even imagine, like, some of the stories that I have, some of the places that I have been with them, have
Mhm.
stayed hours with them just to show that I'm there for them. um Even down to just the mental stuff away from basketball
Right.
that I help them cope with and deal with.
Hmm.
it's not for everybody. It was just for me. God made it to where it was just for me. He put me here because he knew the love and the compassion that I would have through all of these situations. He knew all the situations before they even happened.
Before.
I'm
Yeah.
just coming up on them because they're just appearing, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, Lord, okay, what do I do now? I got to go over here to the hospital and deal with this person, and I got to be here, this funeral for different family members, stuff like that.
For a
That's when
reason.
people say it's bigger than just seeing somebody on the sideline coaching or
Yeah.
coming into their gym and you see them going over drills and stuff. Like, it's so much more that comes into this coaching role that I have to do outside of even getting into the season, the regular season.
Mhm. And what
Like,
you
it,
say, because a lot of people don't understand as female coach, is there even more barriers you believe that we go through where, look, I ain't coaching no more, that female coaches go through with trying to overskill things that's been going on for years. Like, it's so many things. Like you said, having to go do those different things and going to see your babies and being supportive. Do you believe it's still a
mhm.
lot of barriers right now for female coaches?
Yes, yes, yeah, it is. Um, female coaches, we have came a long way, but I think we're still striving in some areas to break down some barriers that are still there. I think people see us though,
Mm-hmm.
um, for who for who we need to be, but I think we have to keep making making things happen on our end so that we can change and make a difference wherever we are.
Right.
I feel like I have done that in Smithfield. I feel like with the help of, I love my coaching staff. I love Coach Bill. I love Coach O. Even with the support from my husband, it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff that
Mhm.
females in general, and I say it all the time, have to have. Our experience to me is completely different than males. Even when you get into female coaches having kids,
Ooh,
um, the mental part that we have to go through as mothers, the postpartum stuff,
and
and
then bounce
you
back.
know, you gotta bounce back and get back into the season right after you done had a child. Some women breastfeed throughout the whole season
Mm,
with their children, or I mean, it's just a lot of stuff
yeah,
mentally. We make a lot of sacrifices, not only with ourselves for our children or child, sacrifices for our spouses because some of us are married.
mhm.
We make sacrifices with other parents' children, and
That's a big
you have to really look at yourself as a female coach and say, "Hey." I say it all the time. I feel like I'm being pulled, like I have vines coming out of me, and I'm just being pulled from every direction. And I'm constantly, like throughout my day, I'm constantly praying, Coach
yeah,
Terry. I'm praying,
you got to.
Lord, give me strength. I know I have a lot on my plate. Help me to balance. Help me to put what needs to be first. Help me to not, um, forget that I do have a family at home, and I
Yes.
can't get so consumed in what I have going on
Mhm.
here with coaching that I don't take care home too.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff for a female coach that.
And I don't think they really take that in position. Like you said, we are growing, but taking that position that as that female, yeah, as a male coach, you get to leave and you get to go home, but you also
Hmm.
have a wife that's there. Those male coaches, let me go get a beer, long game, but you still got to
Yep.
go home, put the baby back in the bed. You have to
Yes,
cook,
you
you
do.
have to clean, you have to make sure. And we are nurtured emotional beings anyway. So we're gonna make
Hmm.
sure before we go home that all our babies are straight and they're well. And if not,
Yep.
we thinking about it. We taking that home, we draining in it. And let's be honest, y'all. You have to have the passion and love for it because it really don't pay that much money. We
Nope.
gonna be honest. A lot of coaches, by the time you get that check, you've already spent that on people helping you, helping the kids, paying for packages, giving extra money out at other places. So
Yep.
it's something that you're really passionate about and you want to do. So now you got that, plus you got all the parents and everything coming in your ear. It's a lot because we are emotional beings
Mm-hmm.
as coaches. It's easy for a
Mm-hmm.
male to just say, get out my face. But when a female coach, it's okay when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it.
Oh yes,
You
it is.
know, so
Yep.
it's so
Yep.
much that's going on. And again, this platform, Mental Gains, not only talk about the mindset and everything of the aspect of female athletes, but the coaches too. We
Mm-hmm.
want y'all voices to be heard and know that you're not alone. I know it's so many female coaches like, look, they're gonna look at this, sis, I'm going through the same thing. I have that. Because you said you speak to a lot of your best friends that are in that
Yeah.
grind and are going through that same thing as well. Like, look, Lord, it got to be you because this right here.
Cause I even look back. Oh my goodness, I I was pregnant during COVID, so I had my baby 2020, and just the stress from COVID. You know, when COVID first hit, everything was crazy,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm walking around pregnant, and I'm like, Lord, and thank God I didn't get sick not one time when I was pregnant with her.
that was good.
And I even look back on that, and it was a scary time.
Hmm.
Even after the fact, um, I had her during COVID. It still was scary because everybody had on masks. I think I always say, me and my sister, we talk about it. Children that was born during COVID, they experienced um a different type of, I wouldn't say birth, but coming into this world, it was different for them because everything was shut down. You couldn't go to the playground. You
Hmm.
couldn't go out.
Definitely
They saw everybody with masks on. It
scary
is,
time.
yeah, so I can only imagine what my daughter was looking like.
What is
When am I? Yeah, when am I gonna get out this house? So
this?
everything was different back then.
Most
With
definitely.
COVID.
Thankfully, we're gone past that, as we know,
Yeah.
still so much to come and people, dealing with that and losses. So here and now, we're here 2023. What are you guys doing now to prepare for that next season? What are you excited about? What's that gear?
So we've we work out on fourth period athletics. That's every day. They're putting up shots every day, fourth period. And two times out of the week, they do strength and conditioning. If they want extra strength and conditioning, they can call the trainer or their other trainer or whoever they may have and get some extra work in. But right now, we're coming up on the month of June for our play dates, and we have a couple of camps that we're going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to go to the FCA camp, the Christian camp, which I think will be really good for them
Nice.
to do some team bonding stuff with. And then we're also hosting our own camp, which is sponsored through MDF Nation and Jalen Sherrod, who
Definitely.
played for Ramsey High School here in Birmingham, Alabama. And she's also the point guard for the Colorado
Did amazing.
University.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be here, and we're gonna have all the younger kids. I think I can't remember the ages, but I know the youth group. There you go, you got it,
Come on, we coming
girl.
through good.
Yeah.
Boys
So
and girls.
yep, boys and girls, and then she is doing the 3-on-3 tournament as well,
Mhm.
which I'm excited. I'm excited about the 3-on-3 tournament only because it had on there 18 and up. So,
Mhm.
I be one of the old school people to come on out the stands that be at the game, saying, I used to ball and I,
Let's
I was
go.
a shooter and all that. I want to see them come out and get the 3-on-3
Yeah.
teams together and,
Mhm.
just have some fun. I think it's going to be a good time.
Definitely. I'm
And I
excited
think,
about it. I'm definitely gonna be out there, set up, trying to get a couple of recording
Yeah,
and, cameras and
yeah.
stuff on it to push this. I'm excited. Like you said, I really want to see some of these old heads play.
Yes.
Uh, So definitely
Yeah, and
this.
I think the younger kids are gonna be really excited just to see someone that they saw playing on TV that was from Birmingham, Alabama. I think they're gonna be excited too. So yeah, we have that camp, and then we're having our own play date here. Last year when I did the play date, it was only girls, but this year me and the boys coach, Coach Smith, we're doing a boys and girls play date
Okay.
June 12th here. And where else are we going? We're going to, of course, the Alabama High School Association. They're
Mm.
having their camp at the Finley Center. That's June 15th through the 17th. And then we're going to Alabama, University of Alabama camp.
Oh, y'all loaded.
And I'm sending a couple of girls to some different places for camp on their own. Like I know UAB, one of them they're going to UAB. I have another girl that's going to go to Alabama State
Okay.
and Alabama State and M. So they're gonna be busy.
Y'all, yeah, they is. I'm just sitting here like, wow.
Now
Ain't no
last
offering.
year, I wasn't playing no games with them. Our month of June was like a regular season of basketball.
Mhm.
We at least played like 28 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were busy. We was everywhere, and I think it really helped. Last year was the first official year that I really got off to a good start with strength and conditioning. Um, the month of June, because when I first came in, I came in within the month of June, so I was behind. And
Oh,
then my second year, it was COVID, so I was pushed back behind.
mhm.
So
So yeah, you finally getting on that road and
yeah,
everything is coming
yeah,
together. Like I said, I'm
yeah.
excited just to catch all the play dates, this year. That is one of my focus.
Hmm.
Being out in the community kitchen, seeing what some of the new kids are doing out there. So always know any coaches. We definitely
Hmm.
want to get all on the podcast, but also just coming in some of the jams, getting that aspect from the kids, because really want to push the female athletes of getting that spotlight in different places and areas so they can know how important and great they are, but
Yeah.
also mentally knowing there's so much more out there, but you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for that push. So definitely excited about that. And you guys, man, I already know some of the babies, so I'm ready to see them go on the next level. Like I'm just
Me
like,
too.
shit,
Me
y'all know
too.
what y'all got in y'all, man. It is crazy. Told us just a lot of y'all getting tall and stuff too. I'm seeing it
Yeah,
out.
they are. They are.
Babies, and you don't call a lot of names. People be like, "Oh, Coach Perry, when she came,
Yeah,
I
but we
it is
opened up
what it is."
our season. We opened up our season. We got some heavy hitters. Our opening for our season, we have two tip off. We're hosting our own tip off classic November 4th. Um,
Mhm.
and we got some really good teams that's coming. But I know we start out with Hillcrest out of
Oh,
Tuscaloosa. So yeah, so
oh,
we were playing Hillcrest,
but
and
it's
that's also
needed.
gonna be on the day of it's gonna be a media day that day too.
Mhm.
Um, with all of the teams, they're gonna
So I'm just
get
gonna put
free
that there on
uniforms
the
to play
line that
in.
we gonna make sure Coach Sledge like have me in on media day doing stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, y'all in
of
on here now.
course, of course. I'm gonna make a note of that. And then we're in a tip off classic over at Mortimer Jordan, and we're playing Hazel Green, baby. So yes, ma'am. I told you we coming hard. We
Mm.
so it's going to give us a really, really good look, a really good look starting
Definitely.
out with our season to show us, are y'all really ready? Like y'all say y'all ready, or like y'all think y'all ready? Are
Right.
y'all really, really ready?
This, yeah,
Because
this.
I'm pretty sure like Tim, I talked to Tim a couple of times from Hazel Green, And I know he's not playing. I know he down there working. He watching film and all that. I'm
No,
pretty sure they already watching film.
but say,
So,
hey, we coming, and I love it, and I just thank you, Coach Larry, for just being you, being authentic, and bringing this and coming on to share
no
uplift
problem.
with for the students and coaches, but also the amazing journey that you're doing over there in Smithfield with Parker. Just that alone, you guys hearing her say what she's putting the kids in, because if you're not moving them into the direction of elevation, they're gonna stay the same. So
Yeah,
she's pushing that level, and that's what needed. So many coaches, we're gonna be real. A lot of y'all coaches get these little boot to boot teams just so y'all can get a ring or a trophy. It ain't about that. That's why a lot of our kids, you only have 1% going to the lead or doing something. Because when it's time to compete, they don't know how to compete because all of them just on AAU teams for a trophy. And that's gonna be a
yeah,
whole other story right there that we want to talk about. But a lot of our kids so messed up because they was a star
yeah.
AAU player, and then you went to go play AAU teams that was under the rug.
Hmm.
Come on now. But you pushing them to go to a whole nother level playing these teams that no, they ain't friendly with them. They coming because they know they're coming to a
Right.
city that got a target on their back. So we thank you for that. And any last
Thank
words
you
you
for
want to leave
having.
people?
Um, just if you are a young coach starting out, or you want to get into coaching, stick with it.
Mhm.
Don't get discouraged. I've been from the lows to the highs
Yeah.
to, you know, back to the lows to start building my own program from the bottom up, and it can be done. You just gotta love what you do and believe in what you do, and have people that believe in what you do. And anything is possible. And at the end of the day, all of us coaches around here in the Birmingham surrounding areas, we're pushing for the blue map and all that, but I'm I'm not also pushing for the blue map, but I'm pushing for them to be better people in life, to see them one day and say, hey, you really, really made it and did something with yourself in life, despite if basketball happens for you, or if it don't happen for you, as long as they thrive in this world and they're successful, hey, that's my blue map at the end of the day,
Mhm. Definitely, you've
So
done your job. Yes,
yeah,
y'all. So check us out. It will every Wednesday we drop a new episode on the Talkers Verse Through a podcast, all social media platforms. On this window and in our stories, you will see the 3-on-3 as well as all the places that you can find them on social media. That's going to be on there. So we will be doing it up until actual June the 3rd because we really want people to go out. So we're gonna push it the whole time, just having it out
okay,
there on it. But as always, you guys, we don't just talk about it, we go out and do it. So y'all have a great one and thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to share too. Let somebody else hear this greatness.
share
Y'all have a
the
good
video,
one.
man.